This is the Real Estate Project. My name is Willie, and I talk about buying, selling, and investing in all different types of real estate, including businesses. Today I'm going to be talking about desert land. What to look for when you go to a property that you're considering buying, because there are some very important things that you need to take in consideration. First of all, you always need to go out and walk the land. You need to get out there and look around, look at what the terrain. You need to especially look for dry washes, because even though it doesn't rain very much out in the desert, there are certain times of the year where they have what they call monsoonal rains. And when the rain does come down, it comes down heavy and quick. And a dry wash can easily become a raging river. When I'm looking at land, for me, I'm not looking at it for myself, but I'm looking at it as an investment where I'm going to buy and then turn around and sell it to someone else with the potential that they're going to either build a house or put a mobile home on it. So if there's a dry wash that's going across the property, I look at where it is. I've been out to properties where a dry wash will run down right down the middle of a property, basically makes the parcel of land useless. If it's like towards the rear of the property, or just, kind of goes diagonally across the rear of the property, it may not be too much of a big deal. I always look for high spots that could be used as a pad that could be graded out for a home to be built on or a mobile home to be put on, and its location as to where the dry wash is. As long as it's far enough away, it's probably going to be fine, because the last thing you want is a dry wash running right next to the home, and then all of a sudden in October there's a downpour, and next thing you know, that dry wash is a raging river, and it could take out your home or take out the person's home. The other thing that you need to take in consideration is a lot of areas out in the desert have protected plants and animals. You're going to want to find out where your local Bureau of Land Management office is, and also the county offices. And you're going to want to visit both of them, because both county and Bureau of Land Management will have different types of protected species that, plants and animals that they want to protect, So, yeah, let's say like in California, they have a Joshua tree. You can't just go and knock down the Joshua tree, because that'll get yourself into a lot of trouble. And if you're looking at a property that has a lot of Joshua trees on it, that means that some of those can possibly be transplanted. Not necessarily just removed, but transplanted, which means then you need to find somebody who knows how to do that has the special equipment to go and dig down into the ground deep enough and wide enough out to grab it and then lift the tree out, and then maybe possibly relocate it on another area, to another area on that property. Or maybe they have somebody that they know that will take the Joshua tree, and then they can deal with transplanting it somewhere. California also has like the desert tortoise, which is a protected animal also. So you're going to want to find out, what if the area where the land is, are there any protected plants and animals out there? So when you're out there walking the land, you can be looking around, okay, well, here's this little bush. Okay, that's protected. Okay, well, it's not going to interfere if the buyer's plans on, putting a home over here. Or, okay, we don't have to worry about, this special whatever desert fox or coyote. We're not going to disturb its natural habitat. So all of that kind of stuff. And then the other thing too, if at all possible, try and get an idea of where the potential corners of the property are, because that will make things a lot easier when you go back, you stand back from the property, bring some like little metal rebar posts with some of that fluorescent ribbon, go out there and then, pound them into the ground a little bit, go back to the edge of the property and then look over the property, and that'll give you an idea of the size and location of the land. There's software that you can download online onto like Google Earth that will actually outline the parcels. It's not 100% accurate, but it can at least give you the generalized GPS coordinates of where the potential corner is of a property. I'll have another video about the name of these different companies that have that. The one that I use, of course, is free. There are some that do charge, that might have a monthly subscription or an annual subscription. And it's basically like a map overlay. It goes over Google Earth. And like I said, it's not 100% accurate, but at least it'll give you, you can zoom into a point, move that little cursor over, and then you look down on the lower, right-hand corner that tells the GPS coordinates, write them down, let's say on a notepad. And then when you go out to the property, you have yourself your little, either you have like a handheld GPS. There is also software that you can download onto your cell phone that is GPS software. And that way you can walk around and go out to where the GPS reading is that you have written down on your piece of paper, and it's showing up on your phone or handheld GPS unit, and say, okay, stand there, look around, and you might possibly find a wooden stake that's been pounded into the ground. I have come across that many times, just going out there and then say, hey, there's a little wooden stake out there. It might even have like a metal disc on the top of it that has like, the ones that I've seen have RGE. I don't know what that means or if that's the name of a company or what, but I have seen those ones that have like RGE and so on like that. But either way, no matter what, you can find like a, let's say like a 2x2 type piece of wooden stake that's been pounded into the ground. And then you can kind of, don't go like 100% that is the actual corner, but at least here's an identification marker, and this is potentially one of the corners of the property. And yeah, that's about it. Really, look at the terrain of the land. You want to see if there's a raised area or a plateau, an area that's kind of, up a little bit higher that, if somebody wanted to buy the land and grade out a pad, they can put a house on it. Look for washes, see where they are. You'll find a lot of properties will have some sort of a wash, but they'll be like, way in the back corner. You don't want one at the very front where all of a sudden, you get a downpour of rain there, and now you can't access your property because you got to cross a raging river. And then, of course, try and get an idea of the corners, and then also visit your county office and the local Bureau of Land Management office to find out if the area has any specific protected plants and animals for the area. And yeah, that's about it. And you do all of this stuff, not even just for desert land, but any kind of property, really. You're not going to have so much that kind of a problem as far as protected animals and plants like up in the mountains, but in the desert you will find that. You get a lot of these people that want to save a desert tortoise or save some little tiny plant that blooms, one day out of a year, and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, other than that, oh yeah, you also things to look at too. Land that is going to be closer to like a town or city is going to have a little more of an attraction and a larger buyer base. Yes, it will cost a little bit more, but then you also have to look at, because of the larger buyer base, if you're buying the property to flip it, you're more likely to get it resold quicker versus, let's say, a property that's a mile, 5 miles, or even 10 miles out from the nearest town or city. There's a buyer for every piece of property, but a property that's 10 miles out from the nearest town, it's going to be like 1 in 100 or 1 in 1,000 of who that buyer is. So, but those are the generalized things that you need to really look at. I always do tell everybody who comes to me or talks to me, go out to a property and walk around. Make sure it is what you're looking for, and then look for the other things that I had mentioned also. All right, there you have it. I'll see you about the next video about going over about how to locate, how to contact owners, and on all of that kind of stuff. All right, have a great day, and good luck in searching for land. Thank you. Bye-bye.